I'm actually making this video for a couple of friends of mine in Oregon that, well, aren't all that familiar with slow smoking of meats or proper barbecuing. They're more accustomed to grilling. What we do down here in Texas, we've got this device here. That's a charcoal chimney starter. The section where you see those holes in the bottom, you actually wad up newspaper in there. You pour your coals into the top part and you light that bottom part, and it, well, you can see it ignites the charcoal. And we're just going to wait until this all ash is over, and we're going to pour it in, and I'll show you that. For the coals to heat up, we've rinsed off and patted dry as well as we could the ribs, but you see this silver stuff? That's the membrane. We've got to try as best we can to get that off. I've never been super successful, but the ribs will be a lot more tender without it. So pick it off, peel it off, do whatever you can to get it off of there. Okay, well, the seasoning they call a rub. The only reason they call it a rub is because that's the only way to really even get close to evenly distribute it, but try your best to evenly distribute, there we go, the seasoning all over the meat, and then repeat with the next ones that you're going to do. Something I wanted to note was you'll notice right over the areas where the bone is real close, I'm hardly putting any seasoning at all. It's not going to bleed through there, so just put it on the meaty side. So you can see on the chimney, I got flames coming out of the top, but I've also got ash over the coals, more or less. I mean, I'm not 100%, but I don't want 100%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, move it to the side for now, and I'm going to add my catch pan. This catch pan serves two purposes. One, to catch the fat drippings. Well, actually three purposes. One, to catch fat drippings. Two, to humidify while it's cooking. And three, to separate the hot, the direct and the indirect zones. So we're going to dump the coals, and I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. You can see I've got the coals dumped in. Now what I'm going to use to humidify is just apple juice. Believe it or not, I don't actually drink apple juice, so this is the only purpose I ever have for apple juice is cooking. Now, I'm going to put the grate on. And I have one of the grates with the little flip-up sides. That allows me to tend the fire without taking the grate off. So I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to let it get hot so I can scrub the grate where the food's going, and then I'm going to throttle it down so that it'll actually start smoking. Another little twist I put on this grill, and you can see it's already working. So I've got a thermometer between the shutter vent and the side. This probe is pretty close to the vent, or to the grate, and it'll actually tell me what the temperature is. There's my ribs in the rib rack. That's going to go on the cooker. If you look and see that temperature, that's quite well enough up there. We're even past barbecue. We're at about 400 degrees. I'm going to pop the lid and do a quick scrub. Okay, we've scrubbed, and you'll see I've changed the position of the shutter to where the openings are about 1/8 open. Now it's about 90 degrees out here in Houston, so you might want to adjust that even more open for cooler climates, but yeah, about 1/8 open. I'm going to let it cool off. So what that's going to do is throttle the fire back. You can see we're right at about 250 degrees. We're stabilized, so I'm going to get a couple of chunks of smoking wood in here, toss it in there, put the meat on, we're going to start cooking. Alright guys, right through that flap, just set them in. That's pecan. I know where you're living at, you're probably going to have apple or cherry wood, but down here in Texas we've got pecan and mesquite. Time to get the meat, put it on. So I got it as over the drip pan as I can. Let's arrange things a little differently. This needs to come over here. I'm going to move this rack here, and the lid's going to have to be at a slight angle so I can clear the rack. Okay, there we are. Now we're definitely clear of the hot side. Now we simply put our lid on and let it smoke. Now you'll notice I didn't put the lid on dead center, and that's because the rib rack is in the way. When we get back up, I got to get this back up to 250 degrees, and then it's going to smoke at that at least 4 hours. It's 8 o'clock p.m. right now, so midnight I take it out. If they're not all the way done and don't pass a pull test or a bend test, I'm going to have to jam them in a Pyrex, put them in the oven at 250, and just bake them for about an hour or so, because I don't want to be tending this fire all night. Well, it took 4 hours, and what I did is I would shuffle so the rib rack that was closest to the back moved forward, the one closest to the front moved all the way to the back, and they just kind of rotated through until they were done every hour. They were fall off the bone perfect, and I didn't use any sort of sauce. I did use a mixture of applesauce and the brisket rub. I used a brisket rub. I didn't use anything specifically for pork. I used a Texas brisket rub. Mixture of applesauce and brisket rub as a mop. After 1 hour, basically I just mopped the each rack of ribs with that mixture, and use that to keep them hydrated, keep them from drying out. So that's the way we do it here in Texas. We're not doing sauces like KC or anything like that. San Antonio does a little differently, but here in Houston we really like our dry rubs. So anyway, hopefully this shows you how to do a dry rub rack of ribs on a Weber kettle. You don't need that special rack. If you're just going to do one rack, you don't need that special rack. Just lay it down on the grate on the grill. The big key here is the indirect heat, where the heat is off to the side instead of directly under the meat, and that the temperatures are 250, certainly under 275. You don't want to grill it. You want to barbecue it, and just go low and slow, and you'll get there. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this, and for my regular viewers, not the guys in particular in Oregon that I was trying to help out here, hopefully you got something out of this too. So anyway, that's my video, and we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. If you like my videos, remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to go back into the old catalog by clicking my channel and then clicking on the videos link. There's lots of decent stuff back there you may be interested in. And like I always say to you folks, be busy, be productive, be safe, but most of all, be blessed. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.